sharing today about the neuroscience of our spirituality in terms of left brain, right brain, and how Kabbalah has a lot to say about that. So first of all, the person I learned a lot from is Josh Korda. A lot of this material, most of it that I'm sharing today, I took notes from Josh Korda. You can find him online. He has many talks. So spirituality is a discovery. It's not a memorizing. It's when we step outside of the limiting framework of thoughts that we have for a renewed sacredness, where there is a new importance in daily life, where we're not trapped by the mundane or the narrative, and there's a unifying drive of a natural life force to bond that's beyond any justifications or believing in past space-time boundaries. We rise in perception above our self-orienting and a confidence in being part of and developing and maintaining this homeostasis while in the adapting, changing conditions. The left brain breaks up the world into objects, is very need-based. It's representing, interpreting, and categorizing life, environment into language-based labels, understanding. In Hebrew, we call it bina, literally understanding. It requires sensory gating, which is a lot of energy to repressing sensory information, to focus this, instead of the senses, which could make it be, in other words, it can make it be like non-differentiated information, non-categorizable. It sort of individualizes identity-based stories. It's part of our autobiography that's going on, that we're unique and different from others. Rather than it separates rather than finds commonality, or it's not where we can do our non-distinctiveness, that there's no distinction. It is future-oriented. It does look outside for external information, and it believes that thought is the most important and reliable, even though it's just a process that we host. It is very involved with problems to be solved, and it attains resources through acquiring and consuming. So in consumption and acquisition, it's usually like, we could think of it as conquering or taking. And it thinks we can rush to the needs to finally relax. So I'm hungry, okay, let me rush, let me eat, and then I'll be able to relax. So it's actually not being present with the hunting, the gathering, the process of acquiring or consuming. Then we have the right brain, which is automatic and simple and open-ended. The body used to communicate, it's used by the body to communicate. Like, the self is not constructed. It's an ongoing felt sense flow. It's the somatosensory, the body, the embodiment. Remember I said that this is like the left brain, kind of like, it's like repressing a lot of information in order to have pieces that it could name and hold. So the right brain is not doing that. It's a self-concept on the left side versus this felt sense experience in the right side. Ongoing, timeless. It's the unending now, and it is safety oriented. It wants to secure attachments to others. It's our social skills. It's our intuition. It's our tribal, our clan based knowledge or beingness. It knows that we need to be here now and let go of the imagined future, and it helps us to appreciate the life and vibrancy of what is real and available. And we know that spirituality integrates the emotional and the physiological. So our right brain brings into awareness. It opens the room between the inner chatter, between the thoughts, as a, versus the materialistic perspective. It visualizes opportunities and checks in with them, that nothing is missing or lacking or complete, into this spacious, open, global, not global like the U.S., I mean like Earth globe, but the presence that's global and interdependency. When we have a wandering mind, it triggers amygdala. It causes threat and fear and the seeking to detect. This is when we're not focused, when we're not flowing. So when we have a task positive attitude, we are engaging and interested. That's how we focus and flow. So whatever we're doing, we should be happy about. Whether we're cleaning the floor, we should be present here now. Otherwise, we trigger this, like, there's a threat. When we're born at birth, there's this symbiotic connectedness. We have unlimited power because we don't know the self or the other. We cry and we get what we want. So there's no inside or outside. It's all connected. But there's, however, what causes people to change from that is a few things. One, the parents slowly increase the delay of gratification, where the child is slowly not getting exactly what they want right away, but it takes time. They learn to wait. Sometimes you say no, not now, eventually when they could speak and understand. However, if it's done too quickly, like where it's like increasing the delay too quickly, there is the sting of frustration that could be overwhelming for a child. Another thing is when there's too much neuronic overwhelm. They're too vulnerable, and there's this false and inauthentic self. A child can't know who they're dealing with. Now there becomes too quickly this other outside person versus inside person. Like, this is not real, and they're expected to go along with it. So this is how they get this externalized and dualistic sort of oneself, which is real, and oneself matching the environment. And now I'm going to move toward like Kabbalah. So there's this idea of non-harmony, right? I just kind of touched on it. The options are to stop giving where it's not welcome or wanted. This is how we could check in as adults. To check ourselves for people pleasing and notice if we are being too external focused. Stop needing credit like we're doing a favor, because God could use anyone. It's our blessing of good karma to be a channel of love, to praise people and the world. God said it is good, right? And knowing that and thinking are so knowing is one thing, is one experience, and thinking is another experience. In Kabbalah, we learned that having thoughts isn't knowledge. To really know, there is not the same thing as to be thinking. When we make effort and overcome laziness, self-sabotage, resisting our own resistance, and we can feel our pain and move out of the comfort zone and fight our negativity and reactivity, and this is against gravity, against our conditioning, we can start to flow and channel and be and express love and kindness naturally, and listen to intuition and channel the light compassionately and easily, supporting those who we are in relationship with, getting downloads, creativity, access to insights and solutions. And this is where it all comes full circle by saying we all have our genius. It is the spark of the divine DNA. It's our inspiration, where we don't need credit or blame. And so in knitting this right and left brain together, we can receive all of what we're supposed to receive and illuminate our true genius. All right, have a good evening. Bye.